Hi, it's Mindy with Astrology.by.love. Thank you for hanging with me today. We are going to be talking about the fabulous Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. So to go ahead and get started, Khloe Kardashian's birthday is June 27th, 1984. Her time of birth is 10:55 p.m. and she was born in Los Angeles, California. Tristan Thompson's birthday is March 13th, 1991. I could not find his time of birth, but he was born in Toronto, Ontario. So that is the information I'm working with today. If you want to pause and go print that out and follow along, feel free. I'll be holding up the charts here as we go. So in case you are not familiar with Khloe Kardashian, she is on a TV show. She's a reality TV star, comes from a big family, lots of females, lots of drama. And she has had an on-again, off-again relationship for 5 years with Tristan Thompson. So back in, I want to say it was November 21, they decided to have a second child together via surrogate. And so then in December 21, a woman came forward and claimed to have just given birth and that the child was Tristan's and filed suit. And so that has really been the most recent big drama about theirs. Their new sweet baby was born August 5th. And so anyways, we're here today talking about them. So what I'm going to be talking about is their synastry and how their two charts, which is basically the blueprints of their soul, fit together and work together. What we can expect to see in their relationship and things we've already seen play out. So I'm going to be talking today, their moons are both trine and in air signs. Their suns are also trine and in water signs. Khloe's Juno is 1.5 degrees from Tristan's south node, so that's pretty interesting. We'll be talking about that quite a bit. Tristan's sun is in the same degree as Khloe's Black Moon Lilith, and Khloe's moon is opposite Tristan's Black Moon Lilith. I do have a video on Khloe, by the way. I'll link it down below. It was one I made a few years ago, but it's still pretty good. And also I'm going to talk about Tristan's Mercury and his Venus-Mars sextile, which tells a little bit about why he cheats so much. So just to get started, so this is Khloe and Tristan's chart. So Khloe's is on the inside and Tristan's is on the outside because I don't have Tristan's birth time. So we can see that their moons, and it's hard to see, but the moons are in yellow. So this is Tristan's moon. I've got the birth time set for noon. And it comes to 21 degrees of Aquarius. And then Khloe's moon is in the 4th house, 25 degrees of Gemini. So when a moon is in an air sign, they like to think about emotions. They like to talk about emotions. They don't necessarily feel them. Excellent therapists, excellent counselors, but not real good at feeling. So whenever people's moons are trine, their natures naturally get along. So Khloe's moon is in Gemini. Gemini needs stimulation just for the sake of stimulation. So Khloe may start a fight or cry or do something just to keep the emotional stimulation going. Could be really dramatic, but we've seen that Tristan's moon's in Aquarius. Aquarius likes to march to their own drum. They have their own way of doing things, and they don't like to be inside of the box. This keeps Khloe's moon stimulated and going and interested and fired up. So this, you know, their emotional natures really do get along quite well. They both have their suns in water signs. So this is interesting. Your sun is your ego. It's who you are internally. And water signs are emotional. So they are, both Khloe and Tristan experience the world emotionally first. and then they analyze it with their emotions. So this is a very unique not very unique, but it's a different combination, and they both complement each other with this. So Khloe's sun is in Cancer, right here, 6 degrees in the 5th house, and Tristan's sun is in, where's his sun? Right here in Pisces at 22 degrees. So their suns may not be a close trine, but Pisces sign does trine Cancer. And so their personalities and their emotional natures naturally get along, and that's a big deal. That alone is a big deal. Also, let me talk a little bit about Juno. So Juno is an asteroid, and it is referred to as the marriage asteroid. Now, it does not 100% give every detail of who you're going to marry. Who you're attracted to and who you're married is partly described by Juno, but Juno is what you consider the epitome of a spouse to be. So Khloe's Juno is at 25 degrees of Cancer, right here. So it's in her 6th house. It shows that she, and Tristan's south node is just right next to it. So he's at 26 degrees of Cancer. So what this is showing us, Khloe thinks of a good marriage partner as someone who is protective, providing, a family man, wants to be a father. So this is how the Cancer energy would play out through Juno. And with Tristan's south node there's a little bit of electricity. So the nodes in Synastry bring electricity. That's that chemistry, that, you know, jus, whatever you want to call it. And it indicates that the energy that Khloe is looking for in a partner is somewhere in Tristan's past. So the south node is what we come into this world naturally being. It's our gift. It's how our ideal way of seeing life. And however, as life goes on, we are slowly brought out of our south node and pushed towards the north node area of life. Life kind of frustrates us along the way and does not play out how we think it should. And the south node is how we think life should have played out. So in Tristan's past is the energy of being a provider, being a family man, being who Khloe sees as being her ideal partner. Khloe probably finds herself saying, you know, he used to be the kind of man I wanted. He used to be a good man. I know he still has that part of him in there, because the longer they're together, the more Tristan becomes less like Khloe's version of husband material. And we have seen this play out. So not only is Tristan almost the ultimate version of what Khloe sees as a partner, he also fits the bill as someone who fulfills her deep, dark cravings. So the kind of stuff we don't readily show to the world. We all have this version of, I want to say a bad boy we crave, but maybe not bad. Maybe in real life, you're running around and you're the bad girl and you have these cravings for something soft and simple and delicate. It's whatever this craving isn't necessarily bad, as much as it's something that embarrasses us, something that makes us cringe and that we kind of pull back before talking about it. You know, and due to life circumstances and how our charts play out, this part of ourselves, Black Moon Lilith is what I'm talking about, this part of ourselves may not manifest, may not come out. So Black Moon Lilith is just a small piece of the puzzle. If one has achieved a significant amount of stability in life, then enjoying the cravings of Black Moon Lilith aren't normally as consequential as they could be for someone who does not have everything together. Khloe's Black Moon Lilith is in Pisces. This could express as Khloe using sex as some form of creative or spiritual escape. It could involve music, it could involve art, with it square to her moon in Gemini though. And so here is Khloe's chart, and we have her Black Moon Lilith here at 22 of Pisces, and it is square her moon at 25 of Gemini. A square is a 90-degree angle that causes uncomfortability, friction. It also causes things to produce. So with her moon square Black Moon Lilith, you know, talking about the emotions of it, thinking about it produces, and Black Moon Lilith does find a place out into Khloe's life. So with Black Moon Lilith square her Gemini moon, she's probably escaping from thinking and overthinking about her feelings and doing it in a way that she knows that probably isn't good for her. But when she escapes into Black Moon Lilith mode, the overthinking and about the feelings and everything is quieted momentarily. Tristan fits this bill as a way of escaping perfectly. So as you remember, his sun is at 22 degrees of Pisces, and then Black Moon Lilith is right there. That's Khloe's. So it lines up perfectly. Those cravings, that itch that you just always need to be scratched, that's what Tristan does for Khloe. So, and remember that he is the almost partner. So if she could have him behave in a way, go back to that South Node, which is difficult to do before the age of 52, if she could get, you know, 31-year-old Tristan to behave in ways that he used to behave, she could have it all. So, and all this, of course, constantly keeps her Gemini moon queued up, ready to go, plenty to think about. So on the other hand, Tristan's Black Moon Lilith is in Sagittarius. And so we've got it right here in Sagittarius. Remember, I don't know his birth time, so I can't tell you which house it's in, but right here. So it's at 25 degrees of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the sign that wants more and more. It wants to expand. It wants to travel. It wants to have tons of life experiences, much like Jupiter, which rules the sign. So Tristan's Black Moon Lilith could play out by wanting and craving more sexual experiences, craving multiple baby mamas could definitely be an expression of it, although Tristan probably wouldn't admit that this feeds any sort of craving. Khloe's moon, so a person's moon is also their inner female. It represents the women in their life. Mom, it represents, you know, our emotions. And so Khloe's moon is stimulated by conversations and learning, while Tristan has cravings for actual experiences. So Khloe probably has tried to talk about it and let's, you know, talk about what this could be. And Tristan's out there like, I just want to go do it. I don't necessarily want to talk about it. As a side note, in psychology, there is a pyramid called Maslow's need pyramid. And I thought about this looking at Khloe and Tristan's chart. So I thought about this after seeing how their Black Moon Liliths were integrated in this synastry. So relationships tied into Black Moon Lilith normally aren't about provision. It's not about getting needs met. It's about cravings. And Maslow's needs pyramid basically shows that a person's physical needs like food and a roof over our head need to be stabilized before we can have love and friendship in its truest form. after we have our roof over our head, food on our table, consistency, after we have that love and relationships, whether it's through family or friends, the community around us, once we have that stabilized, then we can go on and do what Maslow calls self-actualization. In astrology, we would describe it more as understanding and working on those fine pieces of yourself. But it's basically becoming who you are, the best version of who you are, climbing that mountain, being your best self, basically doing what you want to do. And so Black Moon Lilith is a small piece of someone's chart, and it's not the whole thing, but once you have self-actualized, you can go out and play with Black Moon Lilith. You can experience that more and not be in as detrimental of a situation as an average person could be with it. You know, Khloe and Tristan are both in the unique position that they have an abundance of resources and abundance of supportive and positive relationships around them. You know, the average woman could not pursue her dark desires, Black Moon Lilith desires, for so long and not have major consequences. And, you know, Khloe is a single mom now. So she's a single mom of 2 kids because of her desires and pursuing Tristan. But due to her financial resources and family resources, she's not in as detrimental a position as you know, the average person, the average woman would be. So this is the kind of situation. Oh, and so one of the reasons, so yes, Khloe has resources. That's one of the reasons she was able to stay in this for so long. Also, she was able to stay in it so long because of that South Node in Juno conjunction. That's when 2 planets come together. And so Tristan's South Node is conjunct Khloe's Juno. And this is the kind of situation that, you know, in the South we would say, do you know how to boil a frog? So you boil a frog by putting it in cold water, pot of cold water. You turn the heat up and the water slowly warms up and the frog stays still because it only gets a little bit worse and a little bit worse and a little bit warmer. And then before the frog knows it, it's boiled. And so this Tristan's South Node there by Khloe's Juno, over time, Tristan has just become a little bit less and a little bit less. And Khloe has sacrificed a little bit more and gotten just a little bit more uncomfortable. And that's, I don't know that she's completely through. I mean, they have a child together now, so I think this will probably continue in some way. But lastly, I wanted to talk about Tristan's Venus, Mars, and Mercury. So I saw this and it kind of made me laugh. So we talked a little bit about how Gemini needs that constant stimulation. Gemini is represented by the twins. So you've got the 2 twins going back and forth. Castor and Pollux were their names. And they're just like, you know, poking at each other and daring each other and doing this and, you know, causing all sorts of issues. Very different twins though. And so Tristan's Mars is in Gemini. I don't know if you can see that. Tristan's Mars is in Gemini. And so when someone's Mars is in Gemini, they come after you and then they go do something else. And then, oh yeah, they're after you again and then they're going to go do something else. And there's that constant stimulation. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to call? Are they not going to call? Are they going to be there? Are they not going to be there? And that it has a sextile, which is 60 degrees to his Venus. And so his Venus is in Aries. And Aries is it's one of the more impulsive signs of the zodiac. It's a cardinal sign and it likes to move. It just likes to go and do. Walmart has a saying, it says ready, shoot, aim. That's very Aryan. That's jump, go do it, let's see what the results are, and then keep moving. And so when Tristan's Venus is activated, when he sees what he wants, he jumps. He goes and gets it. And he's, you know, that Mars and Gemini energy, he's got to stay stimulated. He's got to see different. He's got to go back and forth. And then his Venus makes him very impulsive. So he sees a woman and boom, he's there before thinking about it. His Mercury, right here, 3 degrees of Aries, also in the sign of Aries, a sign of impulsiveness. So he is not a let's sit back and think about it type of guy. No, he is very much see it, want it, get it, move on to the next. And it is even more so because his Mercury, which can also represent what we do for work, but it's how we speak, it's how we think, it's how we process information. And so his Mercury at 3 degrees of Aries is also very closely trine his, right here, his Jupiter in Leo. And so Jupiter's the planet of expansion. It's, you know, like we spoke about, it wants more, it wants bigger, it wants better, it wants abundance. And his Jupiter's in the sign of Leo. Leo is the king. It's also concerned about the self. So the expansion of the self and the impulsiveness of his thinking lead him to do things that are about him and taking care of himself. And there's not anything necessarily wrong about that, but that that does lend itself to not staying put, not being in a long-term relationship, especially with all this stimulation, impulsive energy in his love life. So Mars is how we go after what we want. Venus is how we sit back and get it. And his Venus doesn't sit back. His Venus is going and getting it. His Mars needs impulsiveness. And then Mercury, once again, impulsive and expanded through that Leo energy. So anyways, Tristan and Khloe really were compatible when it comes to emotional needs and who they were as a person. But due to the other areas of their chart, Tristan really just saw Khloe as an option, while Khloe saw him as the almost, hopefully one day, total package. And that's really what strung this relationship along for 5 years. So, and like I said, these two aren't finished. They just had a baby. They've got 2 children together. So, you know, they're going to come back in touch with each other again and again. I'm sure there's going to be some type of future dramas, some type of future slip, something. And, you know, we'll watch it play out whenever it happens. But anyways, that sweet baby was born on August 5th. The baby's sun is in Leo and the moon is in Scorpio. The sun shows the father, the moon, the mother. It's at a 90-degree angle, which is friction. And that's, you know, where your sun and moon are at the time of your birth, show your parents' relationships and how they were relating to each other. So we didn't need to see that sweet baby's chart to know their parents weren't getting along. But anyway, so my name is Mindy. I'm with Astrology by Love. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.